right back, Charlie's definitely.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, man. Come on.
You always use that active when defenders have been given like. You always use that active when defenders have been given like. You always use that active when defenders have been given like.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, man. Come on.
Come on, Ian. Big up, Ian. Right. Shout out to you lot tuned in. People deluded, I'm back again. Now, I can't lie. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Of course, good night. I hope you're all doing well and safe. I hope you're having a progressive week. I hope, this week is filled with, first and foremost, health for your loved ones. And as usual, where your goals, hopes, dreams, ambitions, aspirations, all of that good stuff is concerned, wishing you lot the best. Can't lie. I've had a terrible morning, people, but I'm still alive. I'm still sexy. I still got the DG Nation. It is what it is. Internet weren't working. StreamYard wouldn't let me sign in. YouTube wouldn't let me sign in. Twitch wouldn't let me sign in. It's all crazy, people. I was on the verge of having a nervous breakdown. I was like, what the fuck's happened? Have they spliffed my channels and stuff? But we got there in the end, man. You can't defeat me, man. You can just temporarily stop the thing. As I said, I hope you're doing well and safe. Shameless plug, people. But after this, 4:15, only on Twitch, just because I feel we haven't done it for a while. England's under 21s are playing Italy. We might as well watch Balogun and that, or Balogols, as some of you say in the comments every now and again. So, yeah, appreciative to you lot. Smash the like button. Any comments, talking points, engagement, and all of them things, you lot make the platform. I think yesterday was a very enjoyable live stream for myself. So, any talking points or any emerging news that you see, feel no sort of way of commenting. Shout the Twitch one, smash the like button, make sure you're subscribing and all of those sort of things, man. And make sure you've got your thingies on, man. We're locked in early. Appreciate that, mate. Appreciate that. Man said, DG, what time was that for the under 21s? 4:15. So 15 minutes before kickoff, 4:15 UK time. Obviously, whoever's abroad, use your common sense in it. Morning, right back at you, broski. I'm all for adding quality, and the guy looks decent. From what I've seen at Frankfurt, he looks decent. I don't know if he takes us to another level. I don't know if we go up the gears, but I'm here for it. Big up the YouTube members. Have you read the David Dean book yet? DG spills the beans well more than Wenger. Nah, I ain't read it. I haven't read it really. I'm still on. Let me get my book for you. I'm reading a couple right now. I'm reading a couple still. Let me get my book. Since we're doing that book club, I've just to be honest, I'm behind with this. I'm kind of violating. Excuse my bookmarker my page holder as well, people. Again, it's a humble piece of tissue, but man's reading the Gucci Mane thing at 50 Cent right now, and then after that, I'm actually it's under me, but Wenger's book. And actually a book that I really want to read, but it's a thick one. Pause, definitely. So yeah, man, that's my reading. But when we're done with all of that and I go back to the library, I'm guessing, these are not from the library, but when I go back to the library, I'll do that. I might just listen to the ebook or something, really and truly. It is what it is. Man said too expensive, the Kroenkes are a problem. Then to be fair to you, just because you got money doesn't mean you need to spend money in it, really. Sometimes it does got, sometimes you run the risk of missing out. This Mudruk brother looks like he's got hella talent, Cam. He looks like he's got potential. I do think everyone's becoming a Ukrainian expert and a Ukrainian football expert and Shakhtar expert. He's got a lot to work on, but the raw minerals are there. But, I'm not being funny. Again, if you wait 12 months, 18 months, he might go somewhere and lay it up. But over 50 million for a guy that's been doing it for 2 minutes. I'm not saying don't spend it. I'm just saying I understand if he is too expensive, really. Certain fans would have, by that logic, I'm not saying you, but certain fans wanted to spend 70 odd million on Isaac. Now, shout out to him. He's going to do well at at Newcastle. But still, read Rick Ross's book. It's a game changer. I ain't reading Officer Ricky's book, but I take your word for it, man. DG, you're gonna come to America sometimes and get some of that artery clogging food. Why not, man? You know, you don't need to get the subscribers up, man. You know, we need to earn a bit more. Good morning, DG. Would like us to sign Lindstrom. I watched him a couple of times in the Europa League last season, including the final. Looks a good player and would provide competition. And he's a similarities, but different to Mudruk. Guys like him, he might be cheaper. If they're saying 17, 18 million, we're going to get into it in a sec, people, all the rumors and all them things. But if they're saying 17, 18, Pedro Neto is 50 plus, and they think Lindstrom has potential to help us, and, you know, they're going to spend less here to maybe get a midfielder or two. I hear it, really and truly. I hear it. But I would say that is the frustrating thing when we've been there for a couple of players. It's you need to put the bread down. You know, I can't blame Shakhtar. They're going to sell to the highest bidders, innit? And then wait till the next Ukrainian golden child that they've got in their academy and do the same thing. You know, Shakhtar have shown it. They'll sell their Ukrainian dons for peas. I don't know so much about now, but when you look at Willian, Fred, Fernandinho, a lot of, you know, as you know, a lot of emerging talents from South America, if they're not really going Portugal and places like that, a lot of them do or did go Shakhtar. Willian, if I didn't say that, learn their tricks and trades of the game, the first sort of entry point into Europe, and then they go to one of the top 5 leagues. So I hear it, really. And to be honest, as Arsenal fans, we've got to do a bit of that as well. Let's be real. You know, we've got to be self-financing from our academy. And obviously, I want these players to stay together. But if Martinelli, Saliba, all these guys that have potential, there might come a time where there's money you can't really turn down. And as much as you don't want to sell the player or consider it, selling them can maybe reinvest in other things, really. You know, that's just the nature of the game, as you lot know. Bro, artery clogging food. I've been in America a couple of times. It's mad. And I love sugar in it, which is quite bad. I need to cut that out of my diet still. But yeah, man, America's lit for them things. I'm not really a big fan of your tipping culture, you know. But yeah, that's one thing I learned, man. People looking at, you know, that's where I'd say English and Brits are completely different. Obviously, Brits and Americans are very different in that. I've been thinking, DG, in this team, where do we play a deeper centre mid Xhaka and a slightly higher Cam Martin/Vieira? Where does Smith Rowe actually fit as a wide playmaker? Bro, Smith Rowe can play as an 8 long term. He can play as a 10. He can play off the flanks. You know, again, obviously, if everybody's fit, then you've got conundrums. But everybody can fit in there, really. You know, and again, if you buy another centre mid, it might be peak for Xhaka or even Partey. We need competition. Really, make yourself undroppable. Make yourself that guy. You know, obviously City, they're quite volatile. They rotate a lot of players, but a lot of players are fixated. Obviously, it's easy to say Edison for obvious reasons. You know, there's normally a player that's in purple patches. You can't drop Haaland right now. You can't really drop Kevin De Bruyne, or he has to play a lot of parts. Anytime Bernardo Silva's on the bench and things are going iffy, he has to play. So make yourself undroppable. You know, again, I do think Granit Xhaka, Ramsdale, and Saka are quite lucky in that. I would say there's no significant competition for their places, but they've kind of earned it. They're vital to the team. Xhaka's probably the first name on the team sheet, really. So competition, man. But yeah, really, you know, it's a problem for the manager. And all I could say is, you know, you play 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, might have to switch it up and play different formations, but we need this, man. Big up Graham, man. I knew there's a reason I like you, man. You're Scottish. Big up you, man. Scott seem to. I like how, well, definitely where the UK is concerned. I just find myself more comfortable speaking to people from up north. It's just like they speak with their chest and they wear their heart on their sleeve. And, you know, Tierney lands well with me. I heard Tierney did a madness, really. DG, being a Scot, watched the game against Ukraine last night. Tierney played very well. He seems to play better when Robertson doesn't play. He was getting forward and putting in some good crosses. You know, hopefully there's no injuries. He's got a bit more fitness. And now I don't know if Scotland have another game. I'd assume they do. Hopefully there's no problems there. He gets a bit of sharpness and we're good to go against Spurs, really. And you're hearing Zinchenko could be back. The more players back, the better, really and truly. I'd agree we need to get a Partey replacement. If he gets injured twice more this season, the board has to be looking to bring a replacement. As a Ghanaian myself, it kills, but he's an Achilles heel. I hear it, shout the Ghanaians. And, you know, you do hope Partey could stay fit because obviously he's got the World Cup to think about. And at 29, you could make the next one. But, you know, the way Ghana's going, good players are coming through. Like Nigeria was doing, I like what Ghana's on, you know, and a couple of other countries, they're convincing the British-based descendants to go and play for them. There might be a next midfielder, but, you know, I like Thomas Partey. Obviously, he needs to deal with what needs to be dealt with off the field, and if things happen, then he needs to go. But, you know, when you look at Thomas Partey, I wouldn't quite say it's a flop, but it's an underwhelming signing. When the man's fit baller, but, you know, reliability isn't quite there. You know, respectfully, you know, it's a case of when and not if he stays fit. You know, he's only played 8 games. He's only been available for 8 games in a row since he signed here. And I do think, you know, you kind of need to not move on from Partey, but you need to mitigate against it, whether that's bringing in Douglas Luiz or whoever, really. You know, and that goes for Tierney, Tomiyasu to a slight degree as well with their injury issues, really. You know, they've been robbed. Senegal represents semi-finals incoming. I'm hearing Eddie could potentially come Ghana as well. I'd be too gas. I mean, why isn't he there? You know, you got a World Cup right there, Eddie, you know, right there for you. You know, I'm not going to lie. I do find it a bit weird, you know, like when I look at players like Inaki Williams and not just Ghanaian players, but there's a lot of players that were trying to play for the Englands, the Spains, this, that, and the other. They weren't really part of the World Cup qualifying, and then they see it's lit, they want to come over. Now, obviously, good players help the team, but I always find it a bit weird. And as an international manager, I find myself saying, do you put your pride to the side and say, you know what, these players can help us? Or do you say, you know what, I'm going with players that wanted to play here first and whatnot? You know, Eddie, big up yourself for what you did getting Alan Shearer's record for the 21s, but I personally think that's as good as it gets. I think, like Iwobi, you go and play for Nigeria, the media leave you alone, bro. Like, the media, like, people leave you all be alone sort of thing. And I think that could be a benefit. You could just do your thing. Like, Lamptey's probably going to just get left alone as well, really. So, yeah, man, shout out to you, lot. But, yeah, man. And to be honest, we need to be looking for the long-term Partey replacement anyway. Same with Granit Xhaka. You know, Xhaka, I'm sure, has another year extension in his contract and he's playing well. But do the maths. He's 29. He's contracted until 2024. I personally think when you look at, obviously, Ozil got rubbed out and we needed creativity. Aubameyang's attitude changed it. But the one thing with me and Arsenal is like we only fix these things when it becomes apparent. Like we're only like Xhaka would probably have to decline massively before we try and go for that 8. I hope that's not the case, but I think historically that's been an issue. And as I always say, as much as Xhaka likes Arsenal, good relations with the fans now, doing his thing on and off the field, he didn't grow up in North London. It's a job, you know. He's from Switzerland, you know. He wanted to go live in Italy. He might want to go back to Germany and all of these sort of things, really. At 29, you've only got one career in it, so who knows? Shout out the Twitch ones. Starved of football, hate international breaks. To be fair, there is football still, but I hear you. It's not quite Premier League and top 5 European leagues. I'm with you, DG, but listen, as smaller nations, we need all the quality we'll take. Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. You know, it is what it is. You know, you have to. You know, look at Zaha. Respectfully, listen, I can never say man are not proud to play for the motherland and that. But if your career was going the way it was, you know, you was trying to do up the England thing. It didn't bang. You went back to, you know, you went back to Fingy. You went back to, you know, Ivory Coast. And to be honest, how much did that help him stay away from nonsense? Not even nonsense, but the media and all of these sort of things. I think the media kills a lot of players, you know. Actually, when we're struggling for content, you know, have you seen Jack Grealish? I think is giving some great interviews, really. You know, he's drawing out Souness and he's talking about things, really. And it's true, you know, he long story short, it's a good read. He said something like, well, I'm not going to listen to Souness. Like, Pep's the best manager in the world and he's telling me to take man on. This man's telling me I'm this and that. Not that everyone can't have opinion, but who are you going to listen to, really and truly? So, yeah, it kind of is what it is regarding that, man. Shout out to you lot, man. Shout out to you lot. Shout out American Gooner for gifting out 5 Twitch community subs as well, man. Me type in Arsenal on Google as well, man. There must be some. Lie to me, man. Tell me Lionel Messi and Neymar are coming to the Emirates in Jan. Lie to me. Tell me something, Google. The dream is free. The hustle is sold separately. Come on, man. Lie to me. Well, I don't want to hear about William and that. I don't care about that. Fair enough. Let's make sure we got Twitter loaded. Come on, my dude. Hi, man. I'm a Juventus fan, but I've always liked Arsenal. Hope you win the league this year. I hope so too, man. It's looking peak for Juventus, though, isn't it? It's looking mad peak for Juventus at this humble moment in time, really getting smacked by Monza. I don't think you're any close to sacking Allegri, but unless he turns it around as soon as possible, boy, it's long for him. And the writing's on the wall. And to be honest with you, it's a bit bad, man. In fact, nah, it fully is bad, man. But I hope that Allegri goes. And that obviously means Conte cold feet. Hopefully Conte says, you know what, thanks for the memory, Spurs. Not that there's any safe. I'm gone. And then Spurs get someone rubbed, man. They might as well give Peter Crouch the job with something, man. Yeah, man, it's all peak, bro. It's all peak. Do you know what? Allegri's going through the Wenger thing, and maybe Sir Alex Ferguson saw that it was a new game and he quit while he was ahead. But you're playing Weston McKennie right wing in a 4-4-2. It's dead, bro. It's dead. It's dead. For me, Allegri's thing looks too outdated. The way he's trying to play is too outdated. Juventus need to pattern up, and it's long without him. Innit? Who would you bring in as Xhaka/Partey replacements? Because like you've said, they're both aging. Look at the current state of affairs. I'm not too sure, man. I think Douglas Luiz could be a good option. The midfielders I want, we couldn't get. The Vitias, the Fabian Ruizes, these curtain raisers. Beyond that, if you get someone with potential, I don't know. Sangare of PSV, I'm not really checking as much as I was at Toulouse. But when he was at Toulouse, he was lit. There's probably some other names as well. But I kind of want, where centre mid, specifically what Xhaka does, I kind of want someone that's, and like I will take Telemans, but I don't, and I think he can improve and do his thing. But I kind of want someone, obviously it's not instant, but I kind of want someone that's going to raise the profile of our midfield immediately, a bit like Gabriel Jesus. Immediately, that striker position has been upgraded, I think. Unless, obviously, if you bring people in that are good, we can bring them in. But I kind of don't want people who are not going to be that, because I just feel we need to pattern that midfield. How much for Mudruk? They're saying over 50 mil, so it's a madness. Well, go on, Killy. If African teams were able to retain their players from these European nations, they would be amazing. It's true, man, but there's a lot of things going against it. You know, when you look at them, you know, anywhere in the Caribbean, probably even South America, Africa, bro, it's crabs in a barrel. Corruption in first world and the first world, third and first world, but it's different over them sides. You've got corruption, you know, you've got a lot of games to be played, and and it's happening now, but until a lot of these, especially the ones in Britain, until they look at playing for either their heritage or England on the same level, I don't know really, because a lot of them look like they're on this England thing first. They can be, it don't bang, then they go elsewhere, really and truly. I also feel Arsenal took the W for buying Jesus instead of Vlahovic. I mean, it all worked out all right in the end. You know, who knows? Vlahovic might have signed for us and been a madman, but it is what it is, man. I'm happy with that Gabriel Jesus and how it worked out. But to be fair with you, you know, Vlahovic is a different profile to what we have. So if you ever want to sell him, and Locatelli, if rumors are true, bring that, man. I don't buy the Locatelli things. If De Jong is still available come summer, I say we're going for him. What a signing that would be. I mean, you throw your hat into the ring, but without Champions League football and that, he ain't listening to none of that, man. You know, out of all the Prem teams, City and them, man, are going to be able to get him. Chelsea, based on their intentions with Todd Burhi. United came close to signing him. Obviously, they got Ten Hag. It could be a Dutch link up there. Hopefully, Van der Beek warns him against that. But yeah, I would love De Jong, but it's a dream selling, man. That's a FIFA Football Manager one, really. We ain't got bread for that. But could you find De Jong when he's still at Ajax? Could you find De Jong when I'm sure he was at William in Holland? You know, can you find them before they become them dons there? I don't know. Smash the like button, people. Appreciative to you lot tuned in. Elite talking points and all those things as usual. I can't lie, you lot violating though. There's, you know, only 49 likes. You lot are boying me, but it's cool. It's cool to stay up to date with DJ, and when he goes live, follow him on Twitter. Amen, man. Amen. DG out here doing the bare minimum, but to absolute perfection. Appreciate that, my guy. George, and appreciate you. Like, obviously, I don't really go on my YouTube comments, you know, because when you get too much praise or too much criticism, I like to keep level-headed. I like to just keep working. But every now and again, obviously, I like to reply to you lot, you know, because I like the fact that obviously you support my content, you comment, you do these things, and you left a number of kind words, man, as you always do. George, I appreciate that, man. It's not just lip service. Subscribe with Amazon Prime for free to support the channel if you are on Twitch. De Jong came out saying he thought he'd go to Arsenal before Barcelona Bergkamp thing. Bro, he needs to, listen, do it in reverse, man. Do it in reverse. Yeah, you could win trophies with Pep Guardiola, but can you really do it when Partey's injured? Can you do it next to Lokonga? That's a real challenge for me. We need 2 or 3 signings in January transfer window that can play in midfield, right wing. Locatelli is dream chasing. De Jong is also dream chasing. DG, you seen the Twitch civil war? What's going on there? What happened there? Twitch. What's going on there? I need to stay up to date with that. You're gonna have to update me, man. You know, I'm just in my own world, really. Like, just so I don't really take these things in. I see this. The latest I saw about Twitch is a bit like what I'm seeing now, is that they're kind of clamping down on gambling. But beyond that, bro, I don't know, man. You'd have to update me on that, man. So yeah, man. Couple more minutes and we'll look at the headlines and talking points and things, man. The benefit really is you lot, man. Like, I just like talking with you lot. I would take Danilo over Douglas Luiz in midfield, Zaha over Mudruk at right wing. Where Danilo and Douglas Luiz, I'm taking both because obviously, you know, and this is where I think it might have been unfair if we in this youngster thing, players of tomorrow, scope to grow. People are going to make mistakes. People are going to show more consistency in other aspects. But when you look at it, Palmeiras fans are saying he's having a poor season. He's a very volatile young player. You can't really expect a man to go from Brazil to play in the top 5 league. I'm not saying you are, Clement, by the way, but you can't really expect him to just slot in at Arsenal and do his thing. Even if he came and it was instant success, he's bossing it, it's not going to be like that to the end of the season. Now, obviously, the Brazil calendar is different, but January is a difficult time. He's going to have to get up to speed with a lot of things, and you'd have to kind of sign up for him making mistakes. But if Danilo, can be that sort of player that they say he can, left-footed as well, Portuguese speaker, Brazilian, resale value, I'm here for it. But I would, Douglas Luiz as well would be, Douglas, then that's Danilo, but I'd be on for bringing in Douglas Luiz as well. I think Douglas Luiz can be a decent squad player, can deputize instead of Partey. You know, if you get some more other lit midfielders in and he develops, great. But if not, he could be our somewhat El Nene. I don't like the Premier League proven thing, but Premier League proven. He's not the oldest as well. So yeah, man. Big up Telwood Studio as well. YouTube members, appreciate that. Iwobi is living proof that doing this internationals thing for your bloodline nation over waiting for that England call up that might not even happen is a no-brainer. And it's not even that. You might be one and done. Ivan Toney, I hope it's not the case, but you could play for Jamaica or St. Vincent. Now, if you want to play for England, do your thing, and I don't think you should be one and done. I think I'll go without talking about other things, but if I'm looking at the striking options, if I'm Southgate, Raheem Sterling's a winger, but I'm bringing him. He can play up there. Grealish is a midfielder, but he can play as a false 9 if I want to do that. But out and out strikers, Harry Kane, you know, our former Arsenal Academy graduate Harry Kane. He plays for the Spurs now, but Harry Kane's going. Tammy Abraham should go. Ivan Toney gives you something different, especially if it goes down to penalties, isn't it? He gives you something different. But, you know, I don't know, even with Ivan Toney, if Dominic Calvert-Lewin was still slapping them in and doing what he was doing the season before last, would you get a call up? Maybe, and rightly so, but maybe not. I don't even know. Mainly, Twitch decided to ban gambling streams, so a lot of content creators are in the mud, and the ones who are against the gambling streams are loving it now and rubbing it in the gamblers' face. That's crazy. I know a lot of Twitchers do the like poker and that. I mean, obviously kids are, you know, the internet, you can get away with stuff and say you're an age or not, but I don't think that's necessarily fair. Tammy Abraham, Toney, yeah, I prefer Tammy Abraham, but I'm just saying, like, as a squad, Kane gives you something. I think Tammy Abraham deserves to go, and Ivan Toney gives you something different as well, and I think he's got the mentality as well, so is what it is. Secondly, behind the scenes, there's been some drama going on. I don't know 100% on this, but a Twitch streamer alleged SA another Twitch streamer while she slept. Oh, fuck. And people have been picking sides and everyone's making content. Oh, fuck that, man. Anyone that does them mad things, yeah, man, I think I speak for any decent human being. We don't condone that. That shouldn't be going on. If you do that, you should get your head kicked in slyly, man. You should be under the jail, really. What are you doing, man? How are they clamping down on gambling and not girls skinning out for little you? I don't know, man. The ethics in this world is crazy. What about Ndidi? Don't hear his name much, but not long left on his contract and think he could be a logical buy. I mean, he'd be all right. I'm not really convinced on him. I think he's got the bozo G. Not that we, you know, it is what it is. The money they want, again, if his contract's running down, but I'm not really on the Ndidi hype, bro. I'd love to be proven wrong. I've never been convinced. He's a decent player, but I've never been convinced of this hype thing, really. You know, it should have been a Basuma one, if anything. I don't think Ndidi's good enough in the, you know, with progressing with a football. I think he's got too much mistakes. I think he's very volatile. I don't think Ndidi's it, man. You know, obviously icy free tax and that. I think he's meaty. Like, I think Ndidi is meaty. I can't lie. I just don't rate him. It don't matter what I think, because end of the day, I'm just sitting here on YouTube with you lot. You know, he's playing Premier League football, but I don't rate Wilfred Ndidi as well. 25 years of it, I just don't think you're lit. Like, yeah, you're Premier League proven and that, but I just don't rate him. I can't lie to you. Yeah, I just don't rate him, man. Big him up though, because I think he's got a uni degree. I respect it. Like, shout out to him, but I just think he's shit, man. Like, not shit, but shit. Like, nah, man. Just don't think he's the guy, bro. I don't think he's the guy, man. If we're gonna bring in a 6, I kind of want confirmation. That's why I'd rather Douglas Luiz, because I kind of know what I'm getting from you. And he, you know, even with Douglas Luiz, I think people play down his ability on the ball. He's not no midfield maestro or Perlo in that, but he can progress with a football. If you remember the game last season, whatever game, I'm sure Lacazette missed a penalty against Aston Villa. I might be lying and I might be getting 2 games mixed up, but I'm sure Lacazette missed a penalty. Douglas Luiz in the first half was playing as the 6. And we spoke about this problem going into the game. They put him further forward and he played a part in, I think, what led indirectly to Ramsey scoring. I'm sure that Ramsey scored against us at the Emirates. I might be lying to you lot, but I'm sure, people. Apologies if I am. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for extra live streams and videos. Subscribe to me on YouTube. 4:15, we're watching England versus Italy's under 21s. Apparently, that's on YouTube as well, people. So, yeah, man, make sure you're all there as well. And it should be a decent one, as the content always is with you lot, people. Appreciative of all of you lot support. Again, talking points, etc. Get them in, folks. Let's go on Sky Sports, because it's been quite. I think news is, obviously we all know what happened in the world last week, but it seems like we're getting back to normal. You know, again, just some other news, people. Apparently, Mark Noble's returned to West Ham as a sporting director. Obviously, he's worked in football, but it's quite crazy, you know. You could be a footballer one day and you're already a sporting director. Obviously, he's Mr. West Ham. They had to find a role for him, but still, apparently, Rudiger said, "I would wind players up if the stadiums were too quiet." I love it. I love seeing people rattled, man. DG going Arsenal, Tottenham. Now, because how are we going to do a stream? And we need all the engagement levels we can get this month. I can't lie to you, man. Now that you mentioned that Jacob Ramsey, I would 100% bring him to the carpet. See, Ramsey, lit. Bring him. Kamara is starting ahead of Douglas Luiz. Isn't that a bit of a worry? Not really, because Kamara's doing his thing. But, you know, Douglas Luiz, I guess he was on the bench because of, you know, I don't know if his mindset's in the right place. Obviously, there was rumours about transfers and that. To be honest, Arsenal missed a trick when they didn't go for Guimaraes. It is what it is. You're 100% right, but we just got to charge that to the game. There's no going back in time unless you got 70+ million or something ridiculous for Newcastle. Can forget about it. Bruno Guimaraes should be here. You know, he's got everything. Brazilian. I think the mentality's lit. Clearly still stung a bit that Arsenal shagged him as well. Always kind of indirects us. You know, likes to tackle, likes to put a shift in. He would have been the guy, but is what it is. We just need to find the next one, innit? That's my biggest problem. Like, I can take not signing players. You know, like, obviously, when we go through the summer, you lot all know the one I really wanted was Rafinha for obvious reasons. But then when you looked at the reports, it said, you know what, Chelsea's his second option. He's got his heart set on Barca, so that's cool. But my biggest problem, and I can deal with that. If you're not Real Madrid and these sort of things, even them, they got Sheikh for Haaland and Mbappe. I can accept not getting players. What I can't accept is the we tried thing. Because, yeah, you tried, but you can bid for Rafinha, Neto as much as you want. What did we bring in? Same with midfield, man. So it's a results-driven business. Twitch is full of degenerates. I never really effed with this platform until the mandem came over. Outside a few, stay safe out here, Twitch gang. To be fair, the only thing I really like about Twitch is the copyright laws are a bit more relaxed. Like, you can watch YouTube videos and things like that. Don't know, for Love Island, they temporarily suspended my account for doing a Love Island watch along. I don't know what was going on there. We definitely should have gone for Bruno Guimaraes, but it's done. We're just gonna have to hold it now, really. Edu's just going to have to scout the net. Can you find Bruno Guimaraes before he ends up at Lyon? Because we was linked with him before he went with Lyon. We was linked with him when Guendouzi was here, and we said, "Oh, we'll give you some money and swap Guendouzi for you." You weren't hearing it. I wouldn't mind Ruben Neves, but again, it looked like he was priced out of a move to Man United, Arsenal, and Barca. I mean, I'm having him, Portuguese speaker, been Porto captain as an 18-year-old, been at Wolves in the Premier League. Yeah, man, I can't lie. I prefer Ruben Neves over Telemans. I won't lie to you, lot. I like both of them. You know, if you can, you know, in an ideal way, if you could bring in Ruben Neves and either Danilo, Douglas Luiz, or Telemans, or something like that, or some other midfielders, it's cool, because I think we need 3 midfielders, a 2 8s and a 6 for me. You know, 2 8s, 2 new 8s, a 6. Xhaka can stay until he wants to call it a day and keep doing what you're doing and be used in the squad. You've got Partey. Lokonga, again, if that happens and you're not really showing levels and a team could offer you 20, 30 league games, you might have to hold a loan. El Nene can stay for another year and be a spare part, you know, just utilized if need be, or if he moves on, fair enough. And obviously, you've got Fabio Vieira, Odegaard, Smith Rowe that could all be groomed and deployed as number 8s, but they'd all have to change. And for me personally, the one out of them names are Zinchenko as well. I think Martin Odegaard, he can do your 10 thing, but I think we need to groom him into being able to play as an 8. I genuinely feel he's got that in his locker. I think you should be controlling the tempo of the game. Obviously, pardon me, he has a good relationship with Saka and Jesus. He leads the press along with Jesus as well. But I really think you could be an 8, man. I really think there's many gears that Odegaard can go up beyond the obvious, really. I really do believe that, really. Like, again, I don't think he's anything like Santi, but he can do that Santi sort of stuff in the middle of the park for me. But even that, Santi weren't the biggest, but he was on, you know, slugging about, putting in a shift, man. What's going on with Saliba after the World Cup? Bare teams won him. They won him already, man. Teams always want good players, man. If we stay top of the league till Jan, it'll be way easier to attract players for the window. I mean, the league's volatile, you know. As long as Arteta can convince, Edu can dot I's and cross T's, and we can convince players of a project, then it shouldn't really matter. But you're right. If we're doing that, then yeah, it is. You're right. Neves has that dog in him that we need. Amen. The man, they are hungry, man. Hungry. That's why I like Martinelli. He's hungry, man. I need a hungry Wolves at this team. You know, ironically, we're talking about Wolves. Don't forget to stay up to date with DJ when he goes live. Follow him on Twitter. Make sure you're following on Apple Music and Spotify as well. I typically put my streams just for you lot on MP3s. What's this Apple News? Interest rates rise to things just getting harder and harder. The interest rates. The Bank of England just raised them. Bank of England. Fucking hell, bro. I ain't got, you know, you're already trying to fleece us off our pennies. Bank of England. You know. See, we're in a day and age of hyperinflation now, you know. It's the highest since 08. What happened in 08, 07, people? Inflation rising, living costs rising, wages stagnating / dropping. It definitely sounds like a good time, innit? It definitely sounds like a good time. There's going to unfortunately be a lot of poor, you know, a lot of poor Christmases, really. The evil of this, bro. Very funny how banks can just keep, you know, printing money with quantitative easing and keep raising interest rates. And naturally, that's going to filter through to a lot of things, man. Like, again, if you go through your local shops, I'm pretty sure you're seeing things are getting slightly more expensive. More money, more problems. Well, there's the money there, man. I mean, I don't necessarily believe in capitalism. I don't necessarily believe in socialism. I believe in the middle. I think, you know, it's very easy to decide. You know, I don't think the rule of life should always be the rich paying for things, but you get it. You know, I don't think that every answer should be taxing the rich, even though I'm not that. I don't think, you know, I think it's easy to be a socialist when, not that you're at the bottom of society, but you're not doing that. Likewise, I don't think, you know, a country should, the few, like the 1% should benefit, because without the other 99%, the economy don't go. If I own a massive trucking company, you know, and I've got bare warehouses, if dons are not working in the warehouses, if there's not call centers, if there's not logistics, then I'm not doing anything really. Bro, Air Forces are ridiculous. Reselling culture. I respect the hustle, but it got crazy. You know, I remember like a year ago, I tried to buy white Air Forces in Foot Locker and they said it sold out. Like, what are you talking about? My 27 years, that's the first time I've ever heard that. I remember that would never have been a thing so many years ago, but is what it is. Martin should be looking at David Silva and Luka Mudruk as guides in controlling games. Yeah, amen. Should be able to get Mudruk for 42 million. Hear that? Get it done then. But I don't know if Arsenal are going to splash 42 million in January on Mudruk for all his talent without bringing in a midfielder. Now, obviously, Elneny might be back in January. Partey might stay fit. Xhaka, all these other midfield options, Zinchenko, Odegaard, Smith Rowe, Vieira, all these guys might provide a different sort of logic, really. I think, for me personally, we needed a midfielder anyways. But when you saw, when everybody was fit in pre-season / the start of this season, we was going for a winger when we should have been going for both. Obviously, the dynamics have shifted really and truly. So I don't know if we're going to spend 42 million without addressing midfield, really. Maybe the winger thing gets left for the summer. I don't know. You just need to grab multiple forces, bro. Where's the P's? Paying for all the resellers. Nah, man, I can't. In this day and age, bro, people just making money, man. If there's an opportunity, I don't blame resellers. It's the, you know, if nobody bought it from the resellers, it'd all be calm, really. It's trying to make a, you know, it's trying to make a dollar, man. I listen, we might need Mudruk. For me, we just need a right winger and a centre mid or two, really. Half price night websites. I mean, shout out the fraudsters. You know, shout out my people getting me half price shopping as well. Food shops in this day and age, it's needed. Subscribe with Amazon Prime for free to support the channel. Come on. Appreciative of that, man. Appreciative of that. 82 likes, people. How we not at 100? You lot are boying it, man. Absolute boying it. When we get to 100, we'll look at the news, man. I wanted Mudruk because he looks nuts, but if I deep where Arsenal are currently, do we need an upcoming winger like Mudruk who already made one? It depends, because 18 months from now, Mudruk could look like that ready-made guy, but Arsenal are in that catch-22. Do you go for these guys before they have their he's having his outbreak season, but do you go for these guys before they have the outbreak season and develop them, or do you go for household names? And as you've seen with Pedro Neto, with Rafinha, with to a degree Vlahovic, who was an emerging talent at the time, with half of these guys, really, you know, you have to put the money down. You don't put the money down, you have to keep Zaha when we was linked with him. You know, we spent 72 million on Pepe, but we didn't. When you look at all the variables, if we win this, if that happens, you know, the true cost is not 72 million, but we committed that potential outlay because Leo was saying, all right, cool, you lot can do the cash converters, Wonga thing. You lot can pay £2 here and then £10 in 10 years. Zaha and Palace at the time, they wanted their bread kind of up front. So that's the territory. You have to pay money. You know, do you really think in an ideal world, City wanted to pay 100 million for Grealish or 80 for Haaland, even though that's a deal, or Van Dijk for whatever money, or Alisson for whatever money? You know, you just have to do these things really if you want to get there. And I don't know if Arsenal have the resources for such. That's why I keep saying maybe when we get these Ainsley Maitland-Niles offers from Everton for like 20 million and stuff, we need to make our bread really and truly, you know. And this is why we need to develop players so that by all means they can go into the first team, or if not, be sold on. If you got 20 million, if you got 20 million for Ainsley, if you got 20 million for Reece Nelson, if Balogun, not really, it's not going to happen here. If you could get 30 million, how much is that for players that are big part players, sort of thing? I don't know. Do you reckon the owners will dish out the cash for January anyways? I hope so, you know, but I don't know how much transfer kitty they allocated and how much wasn't spent by Arteta. And they do. Hopefully that gets recycled and we do our thing in it. But honestly, not a clue, if I'm completely honest with you. Funds in Jan. So yeah, we ain't gone over that. I do like Lindstrom. I don't think he's quite of the level of Mudruk and that, but if they've done the scouting, they know he can get better. Why not? He could complement the side. For me, the biggest thing with Lindstrom is I'd rather this Mudruk guy from what I've seen, you know. And again, people need to be able to tell me about Mudruk's weaknesses, which I can't. I don't really care about his strengths. What's his weaknesses? Everyone can tell you he's a good dribbler. You can go on YouTube and that, you know. When's the time he made a mistake? He made one in the champs. What's his weaknesses? You work on your weaknesses, you get to the next level. There's no point telling me Saka's a baller without telling me he needs to improve his shooting. He improves his shooting, he gets better. But so yeah, I don't know if he's levels with Mudruk, but again, them man are saying 50 odd plus million for Mudruk. Lindstrom might be 17, 18. The difference could be a midfielder or two. All right, cool. Has Ainsley played a game for Southampton yet, DG? Last time I checked and I did my loan report, he got 17 minutes. You know, Ralph Hasenhuttl was quite, not critical, but saying basically, yo, you need to improve off the ball and that. And he weren't in the squad for their last game. I don't know if he picked up a knock. I don't think he did, really. Ruben Neves and Neto were both priced out by Wolves. Rightly so. They want to keep them dons together, really. I can't blame them for that. You know, long gone are the days of grabbing the top players from the excluding the top 4, top 6 clubs. Long gone are the days of just grabbing them for 30 million. You know, again, everyone in the Prem's got money, so everybody's trying to zang everyone. You know, it's almost like we're tourists. As you know, if we go shopping in France, Italy, or whatever, we're paying more than if the Italians go there, or the Germans, or Barca and Madrid. It is where it is. Yeah, I did see Lamptey. Is Eddie good enough? Honestly, I don't know. What I think is Eddie's improved. He's gone from being a bit part player to a rotation player, and your chance is coming, you know. Again, Gabriel Jesus, by God's grace, you know, whatever God or gods you believe in, or faith and things, even the non-believers pray that Jesus, at least until that Leeds away game, doesn't get a yellow. But I think he's going to get one against Spurs. You know, again, he has to make it to game week 19 before the ban thing gets redone and it goes from 5 games to 10 because he's on the yellow. Eddie's chance is coming because you're going to get slotted in there. I don't know if it will be Project Martinelli up front, which I don't want to give up on, but the dynamics have shifted. It might be Project U up front, Smith Rowe coming off the left. You'd imagine Eddie and Ketia just slots in like for like with Jesus. So your chance is coming, you know. Again, you can't just edit the season, you know. When you look at his statistics over the course of last season, it's not that good. But since he got his real starts, he was doing his thing. It's down to Eddie. You signed a new deal. You're patterning up. Show what you can do. If it was up to me, give Eddie his chances. Let him be utilised in the squad. If there is a striker out there that's a bit different to what we have, like, again, like a Giroud, a target man that can bring all the techie players into play and be utilised in the squad, I'm for it. So I hope Eddie and Balogun and all these guys that are involved, you know, can have a role. But Again, if not, we need to make bread. If Eddie shows that he can be about for a couple of years and we can turn him into a 30-40 million pound player or something, sell on clause, that's cool. Balogun the same. You know, Kion Edwards, Mika Beref, all these dons in the academy as well, the same, and across all them positions. You know, if he's just got injured right now, God forbid, and Eddie has to play till January, I don't really have faith that Eddie's going to get them goals, but I'll back him all the way, really. I mean, Mudruk plus Lindstrom, 75-ish million. If this regime is serious, which I think it ain't, that should be easily done. Mudruk wants Arsenal too. But as we've seen, he can want it. We can want him. Smash the like button, people. You're not putting the bread down. Forget about it. And to be honest, I wouldn't really want two development wingers, really. You know, if we're going to bring in two of the same position, you might as well go in midfield. I don't think there's a point. I know Lindstrom can play in a couple of roles. Mudruk the same. He can actually play behind the striker. I just think one, really. This January is huge, could potentially be our most important of the last 5-10 years. Who do we need more, a striker or a midfielder? Midfielder, in my opinion. Got to take that smart yellow soon. Trust, but when is the best time, really? I don't listen. We're playing at home against Spurs and Liverpool. You definitely want Gabriel Jesus there. Leeds away, you saw what they did to Chelsea and that, so that's not going to be easy. And Leeds away is not easy anyways, but you want him involved. But if he has to get that, by God's grace, he gets that against Liverpool. He doesn't play against Leeds. Eddie Nketiah strikes, you know, comes back to haunt them and we keep it moving, really. And then he's fresh home. It's only a one-game ban. Why we link Locatelli and he said he don't want to sign for Arsenal. We don't need that locker in our team. Boy, I don't believe the Locatelli rumors, as I've told you, lot. You know, again, if you've signed a 4 or 5 year deal, you know, it's well, like you said, you know, it was well documented that Solo wanted to sell him to us. We wanted to buy. The man wanted Juventus. You know, if you've signed a 4 or 5 year deal, you know how not too many Italians go abroad. There are some examples, but historically, you know, there's not too many. They're comfy in Italy, rightly so. So I don't know, but if you signed a 4 or 5 year deal at Juventus and that's the club of your dreams and that, you're going to give up after a year. If they force you out, they force you out. But are you going to give up after a year? Especially because Allegri might get clipped. The next manager might build the team around you. He might not, really. If Locatelli wanted to sign, I'll take him. I'm not going to hold it against you. You know, I know fans are like, well, you didn't want us now, but it is what it is, really. Champions League football and that. You know, well, Juventus, the way they're moving, that might not be a thing right now, but yeah, I'd be open to it, but I don't believe it. Is Vlahovic finished already? Nah, man. He looks like he's struggling. The whole of Juventus looks like they're struggling, really. You know, I don't think he scored too many goals from open play. I think he's got a couple of penalties and a free kick, but it looks all mad, really. Everyone's looking meaty at Juventus right now. Busquets linked with MLS move. Would you take him for 1 or 2 seasons? Busquets a quality player, but nah, man. The wages he's going to want, the contract will end up. We'll somehow give him a 10-year deal. Forget about it, man. Is Telemans still on our list? You'd imagine he's there, but the dynamics could shift, really. There's clearly an admiration for Telemans, and they clearly like what he can bring to the table as a player, but I don't know, man. In an ideal world, you get him, Douglas Luiz on the cheap, or anyone else, really. I really wanted Fabian Ruiz. That was the one for me, but it weren't to happen, innit? It didn't. The cookie didn't crumble that way, people. Conte to Juventus, hopefully. Them Juventus dons wrapped it. Vlahovic and Locker could be doing up vibes at the Emirates. Don't kill me. We still need a midfield replacement for Partey. Right now, I'll give Xhaka his flowers this year, but to compete and win the league in the future, we need to get impact players to mix in with these young players. I hear that, and you're not wrong. I hear that. I don't know if I answered this, Nancy, but who do we need more, a striker or a midfielder? Striker score goals in it and goals win you games, so you could say that. But for me, where Arsenal are at right now, you need a midfielder, man. Pardon me. Big up, Happy. Hey, another one putting some really positive words of encouragement in my comment section every now and again on YouTube. I appreciate you, broski. I see you, man. Don't think that that's not appreciated, people, because it really is. But on that note, what was I saying? The bosses have been amateurish in the market. A list of mistakes, far too long to mention here. Good work, by the way. And that's the thing, man. We kind of spoiled it. Like last year, we sold ourselves short for all the good signings I think we made without bringing in a midfielder this year. For me, I would have been able to accept not bringing in a winger. I can't accept not bringing in a centre mid. And anyone that's been following me for time, you know, all I've wanted is a midfielder. I think until we get a midfield that we have 100% confidence in with respect to Partey and Xhaka, because there's different reasons. I think our ceiling is kind of capped. We need Partey. Upgrade on Xhaka. I think we do need an upgrade, but I think unless Xhaka forces his way out, you could stay and be utilized in the squad. Big up Josh as well in the cut. Shout out Ben. We need both a DM and a winger. Don't settle for one over the other. Tell him again, Ben, because this is what I feel Arsenal fans get twanged in. Like I just alluded to, in the summer, it was right wing or a centre mid. And naturally, you know, there's logical reasons to lean to either side. You go back to when we signed Partey, it was all 8 and a 6. I want Partey. God knows what would have happened if Partey never had his release clause. You need both. You know, Chelsea weren't sitting there and saying, no, do we get a left back? For all of what they're doing this season or not doing, do we get a left back or a centre back? Yeah, the dynamics are different, but they brought in Cucurella and Koulibaly and whoever they did. I can't see us bringing in 2 wingers with Nelson still here. Marquinhos just arrived. I hear that. Same. Ideally, 2 players, in January. I hear that. You've seen enough of Lokonga to think he can be part of this long term. Yeah, but you need to develop. And I think I need to see significant progress. I'm not asking you to look like a world beater, but I think you've got, and again, it's very hard to play Premier League football, but I feel if we don't have some confirmations of you, like even if I'm very harsh against Brentford, if the dynamics were different, he could have cost us in his own little way. You know, technically he gave a penalty away. We're lucky it was offside. And then after that, there could have been another offside that thing he does. I think off the ball, he needs to improve. I think I like that. He's got that Perlo Yaya Toure thing about him, and he's nowhere near them and not them man's level, but they do things at their own pace. Now, clearly, to be like them, man, you need to be lit in it. And I don't really think, I can't see that really and truly. And I think the mentality needs to improve. Not that he hasn't got mentality. I just think he lacks a lot of self-belief, you know. And I do think he looks a bit like Bambi on ice at times, but I do like Lokonga. I'd love to be wrong. But I can't see you being an 8. You're not the 8 I want to see at Arsenal. I hope to be wrong and I wake up and you look like that. I don't quite think you're that 8 I want to see. I think you could be a 6 long term. Right now, you need your handheld. You can't play that lone 6 alone. So you're not going to get hit ahead of Xhaka on the best of days in the 8. You're going to play by default if anything happens to Partey, but it's long, really. And I do need to see a bit more progress because, you know, some youngsters are more experienced than others. He came into this with a decent amount of appearances for Anderlecht. Like, if I type in Lokonga, I'm sure he captained them at times. He might have even had like 70 appearances for Anderlecht. He's still 22, 23 this next month, sorry. So, again, there needs to be a bit more progress from Bambi, really, because you're not making the World Cup squad. You know, he's played 24 times in the league, but he came into this with 61 appearances in Belgium. Now, the golf is different, but again, there's certain man that never kicked a ball like that, and they're doing better than you, sort of thing. And he had 78 appearances at Anderlecht before he signed here. So he's just over 100 career appearances. I'm not expecting you to be amazing, but I need to have some sort of trust. Yeah, I did see Lamptey's initiation song still. Initiation thing. Yeah, is Edu is incompetent. He can't get a big player over the line. Vlahovic, Rafinha, Martinez or Neto. Let's see if Mudruk can get done. Locatelli would be good too. Bit harsh. Vlahovic wanted Juventus, and between the whole club, they need to all hold their L. Martinez, clearly we weren't prepared to pay what United were, really. Neto, it didn't seem like it was getting off the line, but yeah, man, I think when Edu's been part of some good work, but I don't know what his legacy is really, because half of these guys that are lit, you know, Jesus was an Arteta-led signing allegedly, and he was able to do the Brazilian link-up. Zinchenko the same. You wanted the goalkeeper Neto, we wanted Ramsdale. That's how that worked. You know, again, Partey's your signing. Partey's a good player, but 45 million for a player you can't really trust at 29. What is your legacy? You ain't really sold anyone significantly. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure we sold Joe Willock when he was here. I'll give him that. 30 million was good business. Bringing in Odegaard was also good business, but respectfully to Edu, that's why I think if things were going wrong, I think Edu will go before Arteta personally. And this is where I kind of wanted an experienced sort of guy, because like you've seen in the last few windows, when we're scrambling for Douglas Luiz or we're scrambling in January, maybe people with more contacts or more certainty in this game, they could have pulled something out. And I don't think Edu has really and truly. And we've got to remember, as much as I like Arteta and Edu to a degree, we're doing you lot a favor, because you lot got these. Yeah, we're trying to do this. You know, the young players are growing, young coaching staff across all aspects, from Wilshere, Mertesacker, the two mentioned, growing. But we're doing you a favor. Yeah, you were doing your thing in Brazil, but we're doing you a favor. You haven't really got the pedigree to be doing what Arsenal, to be in that role at Arsenal, especially at this volatile time where we're nowhere near winning Premier Leagues and what we used to kind of be, sort of thing. And that's why I'm a bit harsher on them, if I'm honest, because we're doing you a favor. Like, obviously, you clearly convinced the powers that be at Arsenal that you can do a role here, but we're doing you a favor. Why did Arsenal wait to the end to bid for Luiz? I mean, I think Ethan come on a bit to kind of convince him to sign a scholarship deal and tell him that there's going to be a pathway at this club. But I'm good. I'm happy to see that because that's what for a young 15-year-old lad that's probably playing FIFA and that's what man dream of, innit? And for the obviously, you know, he knows that he can, you know, he's wanted by a lot of top clubs, but there's one thing seeing it, there's one thing physically being in it. You know, he traveled with the team. Obviously, child safety laws, he couldn't get changed with the team and things like that, but he traveled with the team. He played in the Premier League. He played at Brentford's new stadium with all the fans and that there. He's played with some of the players. When you can see that it's attainable, then you're gonna go back in the academy and work hard, sort of thing. Edu's done some good stuff, but he's also said some things revealing weaknesses. He said moving some players were impossible for him. Exactly. And I'm not against ripping up contracts, but I think we've clearly done that more than we needed to do, really. You know, obviously there was a lot of contracts that weren't really Arteta or Edu's guys, but, you know, I look at Willian, I look at Aubameyang, that's you lots else. You gave Aubameyang that deal. You convinced Willian to sign. You brought in Cedric and Marie. You brought in Partey. Now, I can't blame you for Partey not staying fit. All I can say is what's gone wrong, because I'm sure when we signed Partey, the medical staff doing his medical, all of these lot, we was looking at his pros and cons and things. What's gone on? What is happening there? That is your legacy. You know, you can't claim Martinelli as well. You might have done your bit to get him. Well, in fact, I don't even think he was here, but that weren't a you signing. That was a scouting thing. So I don't know. When Edu does well, Odegaard or Vieira, to be fair, it's a scouting thing. People say nothing, stop the agendas. He's doing okay. I don't think anyone said any agendas, you know, really. I don't think he's done amazing. I don't think he's done terrible. It's a mixed bag. Ultimately, we've been left short, really. And for me, I have to judge them harsher because the technical director, the manager, as much as listen, I've got a lot more time for Arteta than I do. You are both midfielders. The one place that I shouldn't have any question marks should be midfield. Like, I should be betting on it. And if I can't see that, then I have to assume what I'm seeing in front of me is what you lot want to maneuver with, sort of thing. Rickin, I appreciate you for that, man. Resubscribing with Amazon Prime on Twitch. Thank you very much, man. I just see that. Been subscribed for 4 months. My guy. Appreciate that, man. So yeah, man, it all depends, really. DG spoken on that pagan Jason Cundy, bro. Pardon my language, people, and I'm sorry to any kids, but fuck what Jason Cundy has to say, bro. Like, them man are engagement whores, bro. They just want to, they don't even believe what they're saying. He don't even believe what he's saying. Them man know people are gonna click their blogs, they're gonna get paid, they're gonna get the numbers, and ultimately they're gonna stay in the job. When we as a society, don't get it wrong, when people chat shit, we need to flog them, but until in society like football, until we learn to ignore people, you know, YouTubers that say sensationalized stuff, talk shy, all these things, until we learn to air it, we're not getting anywhere. He's chatting shit. Danny Murphy chatting shit as well. You know, I don't think he's wrong in saying maybe there's 18, 19-year-olds that could have played that are more ready than Ethan at this moment in time. You know, Matt Smith went on a couple of loans, but he's not the guy, really. You never said this when all the other things are happening. And what I would say to Danny, simply put, I think there is, but who are these midfielders at Arsenal you refer to? Who are they? What's going on with Smith Rowe? He's not fitting it, so yeah, irrelevant still at this moment. Danny Murphy, bro, he's shit, bro. Liverpool should have never bust him, bro. They're all rubbed, bro. Souness, Jason Cundy, they're all rubbed, bro. They're all rubbed. They're all Danny Mills again. Henry rubbed him out. You know, these men are all duds, and they've played professional football more than us, but just don't listen to them. They're chatting shit. You know, at some point, if you go and see someone, if you go and see something and you get angry about it, you know, and these people keep saying this, at some point you need to slap yourself, because if these lot allow you to make yourself angry and you know they're chatting, they don't believe it. I've been in certain incidences where there's certain well-known YouTubers where there'll be a topic and a treatment, what we're talking about. They've literally said, I don't believe this is my opinion, but once the camera turns on, I'm going to say this. It got me mad as well, but air it, man. Air it. They're chatting. Air it. They want engagement. Rating the work rate, my bro. One of the few Gunner fans I could tolerate. I hear that, man. Arsenal fans got to learn to ignore that stuff. Media does it on purpose because the reaction will always be there. Arsenal and United fans, because I think that's what they do. If Jesus gets suspended and Eddie is injured, who is backup? Boy, you might have to do the false 9 thing with Odegaard and Smith Rowe. Project Martinelli through the middle, innit? Martinelli up front, Smith Rowe or someone occupy that left-hand side, and we keep it moving. Trust me, back in my day, merchants, they're shit, man. There's no point listening to them. And that's why they hate things like even what we're doing. This is why they hate new media, because the common man and woman can just stop chatting, listening to what they have to say, and we can do our own thing. That's why they're sensationalized headlines. As you know, what there's going to be a time, I feel, in all content where we're going to get away from it. But right now, what sells is hyper sensationalized stuff, sensationalizing things, saying mad things. You know, that's what gets people in. That in all aspects. You see that in the music industry. This is why man are looking like rainbows, saying they worship the devil, getting mad tats on their faces. Attention is the new currency. It firmly is. Attention is the new currency, and these lot have recognized that. That is the new clout. Attention is the new clout. Clout is obviously going to get you clicks, as people are referring to. People are gonna, you're gonna pay your bills when they're doing their, when it comes to renegotiating the Alan Basil's and Jason Conte's contracts. They're gonna sit there and say, well, we're pulling in these numbers. Boom, 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 boom. Really, this is why they're gonna chat shit, bro. This is why people like Trevor Sinclair, bro, you need to know, you need to not bite the hand that feeds you. You was trying to do the Malcolm X thing. You're doing, that's not the platform for that, brother. It's not. Exactly. Back in my days, man. It's people like that prevent football from really getting some, when people having real personalities and stuff. I don't know why Arsenal waited until Louise. North London derby prediction: by God's grace, we win, my guy. In January, wingers must have substitutes who have the same abilities, because injuries can come at any time. I hear that. You're not wrong in that. You're not wrong in that at all, man. I feel like I'm missing something. So yeah, I don't know, man, with that. You need to raise attention when you don't have fans. And this is it, man, because a lot of these people, they've got no integrity. Would you take Eze? I rate him highly. I think people gas him a bit, think he's got a lot to work on, but yeah. Exactly, but he's got the nice little platform for himself, and he just chats, bro. Jamie flipping O'Hara as well. He's trying to fight 15-year-olds and that, and he's flipping talking about stuff. This is why I rate Grealish's recent comments, bro. He basically said, like, I rate him. He stuck it on Souness. Souness has an agenda against me. I'm not going to listen to what Souness says, because them man, they have, I've got Pep Guardiola. I wouldn't be listening to Souness, because somewhat, if you're old enough to remember, certain players lied about being a certain person's relative, and you signed them up, and you must have seen how shit they were in training. It's a myth. This is why I only watch a handful of football content. My go-to is DG in Turkish. Big up yourself, my guy. Hey, tell Turkish to reply to his DMs, man. I said yo, he said yo, and that's it, man. Them man, they're Hollywood now. I tried to get a collab, it didn't bang. But yeah, I don't rate him as highly right now as some people make out. I'm not wowed by skills and that, he missed a sitter against us. Sometimes I think he overplays, but I think he's decent still. I'll take him to be part of the squad, but if we're bringing in people, I want curtain raisers. Easier said than done, though. So we really have to watch that space and see how it goes. Big up you lot, man. Elite talking points as usual, folks. Always a pleasure to be here. Always a pleasure. 127 likes. Well said, DG. Superficiality over substance these days, and that's all it is, Path. Like, because as much as I criticize talk shit and things like that, and I think it's wrong. I think they lack integrity, and all, not just them, everybody. Sky Sports do it as well. When Arsenal lost against Brentford, Gary Neville was talking like he knows everything about Arsenal, and they're the same ones bred in. It's the nature of the game, innit? Thoughts on Maguire's leaks comments? Point me in the right direction. I don't know. What sort of impact do you think the World Cup will have on the league? Broski, honest to God, I don't have a clue. But what I would say is, obviously, there's going to be players playing at World Cup. Some might pick up injuries. Some might have burnout off the back of what's a congested season already, off the back of what was a congested season last year and pre-season. And yeah, this is the last international break. But international break, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know which players are going to need rest. And that's for the players playing at the World Cup. Obviously, if you've got a 25-man squad and 5 men are going to the December World Cup and the other 20 are still here, what do you do with them? Do you organize friendlies? Do you, man, go on some warm weather training? What do you do? Like, what about the rest of the squad? Because they can't just be sitting at yard. So I don't really know, man. Deluded, what do you think about the October schedule? I think people overstate its difficulty. As we've seen from the Europa League first game, Arteta going to do full rotation, at least until the PSV games. I disagree, Mario. I think you can't underestimate how difficult games are. You know, every game tells its own story, and we've got a lot of games, and we've got injuries, and we've got less bodies in our squad. So I think it is a concern, but we're just gonna have to deal with it, bro, man. Big up Uncle Pat for doing well at Palace, man. Hopefully, we do see a lot more black and minority managers through the door, and not just that. As much as I love Arsenal, and I'm not making it an Arsenal thing. Obviously, you think about all the minority players that have played here: Rollcastle, Henry, Bergkamp. We keep going. When you start going up the levels, like I always find myself doing it when I'm on the watch logs, when it pans to Mikel Arteta, or when it pans to the subs bench, you can see it. When you pan to Mikel Arteta, you don't see multicultural faces on the bench. You know, you don't start seeing it in the boardroom. And that goes for many clubs. And, you know, it's not just that. Football should be a diverse. I wouldn't want someone to give me anything just because of my color. Like, it could be a bonus, man, I'm sexy and that, but it's got to be because I'm wavy. I just think, yeah, man, that just shows there's many levels to go up, man. Only mods can pass links. I send it to B, and obviously he can do a thing, man. Shout out Culture Mark, man. 9 games is crazy. It's crazy, bro. There's nothing you can say. Arsenal playing well hurts talk shites pockets. That's why they always try to push the certain narratives to keep us as a banner club. It is, but who really cares, man, what they think? They're not Arsenal fans. They don't care what they're saying. They don't even believe what they're saying. Who really cares, man? DG, do you think the owners will back Arteta in January? I think they've backed him already, if I'm honest with you. Money's been spent. We didn't spend as much as last year, but money's been spent. You know, money has been spent. They committed to, off the back of one Premier League season, 50 million Ben White, and he's doing all right. But to get it, they allowed you to give Aubameyang a new deal and tear it up. The same with Willian. You know, you've been allowed to spend 20 million quid on Lokonga. You know, you've been allowed to bring in 45 million Thomas Partey. You brought in Jesus, Zinchenko, etc. I do think we need centre mids. You lot clearly had some bread because you were scrambling on the last day of the season trying to convince Aston Villa to part with Douglas Luiz. So there's clearly some money there. I don't know. Lokonga is too old to not be on a level yet. Whisper me the link. Send it to him, man. Big up B. So, yeah, once he gets that, then obviously I can be clued up on whatever it is that you're referring to. I hope so. But like last season, I can't see. I can blame. Obviously, as an owner of a company, you need to take responsibility. But I don't think not getting top 4 was on the Kroenkes. I think it was on Edu and Arteta and the playing staff. And I think the same will be said this season. And as much as I like Arteta, and context has to apply, if we do not get top 4, someone's got to answer for it, man. For our midfield, we have to show ambition. Why not De Jong? I mean, you know it. I know it. We can't get De Jong, bro. You know it. I would love it, but you come on now. You know De Jong to Arsenal's a myth. I would love to be proven wrong. Hope I can be clipped up if he ever signs. And how silly were you? But you know De Jong's a myth. I hear you on the ambition thing, but you know in your heart that's a myth. A big, big myth. Dream is free. The hustle is sold separately. Shout out Augustine. Good morning from New Jersey. Deluded. Good morning from London. Or better yet, good afternoon, technically. So, yeah, man. Interesting talking points as usual, man. You lot really come through. With that, though, keep them coming, people. Let's start looking at the current headlines and all of that sort of stuff, man. That's what you lot been waiting for. Latest news, timestamp. Tab police, look away now. It's not going to be pretty at all. So, yeah, man, the dream is free. But, yeah, sharing my screen, you know, let's start with this, in fact. Arsenal's injury list. When will Martin Odegaard, Zinchenko and Emil Smith-Rowe return to boost Arsenal? Or Mikel Arteta and Arsenal, better yet. We know we haven't got some key players. We know we're still a couple of players. You look at Saliba and Gabriel, they're still nursing some knocks as well, people. With Odegaard, again, you know, the Norwegian gaffer said, and he missed out the Brentford game because he clearly weren't fit. Apparently, you know, we'll certainly see him in Norway either as a player or fourth coach. It means a lot to have him, and maybe that's why he's captain. Who knows? Odegaard might be a manager one day. I think Cedric's going to end up that, really. He should be available to face Tottenham immediately after the international break, provided he doesn't do any further damage to his injury while away with the national team. And you hope where Partey and Tierney, Tomiyasu are concerned, that is said there as well. Zinchenko's been sidelined with a calf injury, as you lot know, and he couldn't play. He's remained in England. That means he's obviously missed last night's game against Scotland and misses the Armenia game. I think he was suspended for the Scotland game anyway, so he would have been only able to play Armenia. And maybe against Mkhitaryan for Gooner. But Arsenal are hopeful the injury is not too serious. However, and believe that he'll be back in action relatively swiftly. They're hopeful that Zinchenko could be back for the North London derby on the 1st of October. El Nene's gone, innit? You know, El Nene's gone. Apparently, it's currently unclear how long El Nene will be sidelined, but early suggestions are that he might not be available until January at the earliest. Like a new signing hype when we get there, innit? Smith Rowe, again, we need to take our time with it. He said he felt some discomfort in an area that he's been dealing with now for a few weeks. Apparently, it remains unclear, but Smith Rowe is a doubt for Arsenal's game against Tottenham on October the 1st. Cedric Suarez, apparently, sources close. His first game back could be the North London derby. You don't need to be in the squad. Tomiyasu is there. What about for Nelson? Apparently, with Reece Nelson, provided he suffers no setbacks, Nelson should be available for the Tottenham game on October the 1st. Cedric is so lucky we're doing this Portuguese revolution. To be honest, to Edwin Arteta, they took a chance on a few of our summer signings. Nobody knew anything about Sambi or Vieira. I don't think that's harsh. You know, everybody knew about Vieira. He's playing in Portugal. And you could see my video. I definitely knew about Sambi Lokonga, like with Jeremy Doku with things. You took a chance, but at the end of the day, you know, Sambi's not really levels right now. Saliba, you know, is doing his thing. And you're right. You're right, Dermot. Fundamentally, I think everyone thinks young players are just going to go like that. But at the same time, we need to get results. I hear you, but on the harsh thing, we need to get results. Have you got a squad strong enough? If you haven't and you don't, questions should be asked. Same way you get praised, there should be question marks. Blessing in disguise, the El Nene injury. I don't quite agree. I never think it's someone being injured is a blessing. Allegedly, now, until I see this on Arsenal.com, I don't really care. But Arsenal and Saliba are set to reach an agreement for a contract renewal until 2027. So hopefully that is true. But I want to see that on Arsenal.com or more credible sources. I don't know if this Rudy Goletti guy knows his thing. But yeah, allegedly, Arsenal have opened talks with Eintracht Frankfurt over 17 million move for winger Jesper Lindstrom, with Mikel Arteta keen to bolster his squad in January transfer window. Apparently, we've made contact. What is making contact? Is that just light conversations with his agent, seeing the client, which would be the player's willingness to join the deal, how much he might cost, Eintracht Frankfurt's willingness to sell him? I don't know. But according to reports in Germany, we have made contact with the Eintracht Frankfurt Don. The Danish winger obviously helped them win Europa League last year. They're in the Champions League. He started off this campaign very slow, but he's doing all right, really. Despite surprisingly topping the table after 7 games, Arteta is said to be keen on strengthening his small squad after last season saw them lose several players in January, failed to bring anyone in, and eventually missed out on top 4 by 2 points. Obviously, Pepe is gone. Marquinhos may be allowed to leave on loan in January. Don't know what's going on with Nelson in that regard. He might probably just leave for free. He's been capped 5 times for Denmark. He was named Rookie of the Year last season, people. So, again, in terms of instant impact, I hope he could, but I wouldn't expect fireworks from the 22-year-old from the jump. But if signing him for 17 million, I'd rather Mudruk. But if signing him for 17 million means there's a few pennies to go around to bring a centre middle to in, I hear it, innit? Blind, who I don't know if they're creditable, also state that a fee of 17 million could be enough to get the deal done. Mudruk is also thought to be of interest to the North London side. If Arteta doesn't get top 4, do you think that's a failure? I think there'd be many successes. Like I think there was successes last season, but ultimately it's a results-driven business. Yes, it would be a failure. Arteta and our club have been very specific in pre-season about top 4 and trophies and stuff like that. You don't get top 4, you don't get final of the Europa League. We don't go as far as we could potentially in the FA Cup or the League Cup or do one of them things. It's a failure. There's no progress there. Pardon me. There is micro processes, tactics, players, all these things, but the short of it would be no. Of course he will. Signed a new deal. He's the head coach and things, and I don't know if he necessarily should be sacked, but question mark. Same way, if you deserve your praise, you should be asked questions if you're not achieving things. Again, that's one report, but it all depends because Romano is contacting the rep of Eintracht Frankfurt star Jesper Lindstrom, an exciting young talent. Still at the moment, I have no confirmation of any proposal or negotiations for Lindstrom. Many clubs also from Italy have sent their scouts to monitor him as he's considered a very good player for the present and future, but no decision has been made by Eintracht Frankfurt about January. It's still too early to say, so read into that what you will, people. You know, read into that what you will. If we're looking for a wide player, there's the Belgium youngster Jeremy Doku. He's decent, but for me, I need to see a bit more from him before justifying spending the pennies. I need numbers. And I think he's still volatile. We've seen this all week, but Arsenal could return for Manuel Locatelli. I don't believe it. And I'm sure many of you won't go for him as well, So I don't know. Sassuolo wanted to sell him to us. We wanted to buy. He wanted Juventus. So I think case closed, really. Apparently, this article refused to confirm whether there had been any talks between Arsenal or Juventus for Locatelli. And I mean, he's on a 2-year loan. Juventus still need to run the bread, so it could be techie. So I just think this is paper talk, and I'm very pessimistic on anything that links us there. Never seen this 20-year-old FC Lindstrom midfielder, Arden Jashari. Apparently, he's on the agenda of many teams, including Arsenal. I mean, we should always be looking for emerging talents, man. Is that a big team? Someone's gonna miss out, It went from the top 4 to the top 6. It's gonna be a top 10. It's competition. It all depends the context. How Mikel Arteta and Arsenal miss out. We missed out by 2 points last year, which I think is lazy because there was many games where we didn't hold on to leads from winning positions. We didn't start well. Tactics were wrong. Tactics were perfect, but players messed up. Ultimately, we failed. It's a bit like the Emre season when there was too many draws or dropping points from winning positions. But you look at it on a lazy thing, we was a point off. This tells you that in football, the margins are so vital, people. So vital. This is why squad depth, winning games, all these things have never been more important in life, people. DJ, are you up for any content awards? Big up from Ireland. Big up the Irish. Keith, I would say no, man. But who needs that when I got you lot, man? The only award I want is 50,000 subscribers and then 100 and then just to keep getting better, man. That's true winning. All them awards are so superficial and it's all industry and that. I stopped taking that in when, personally, when I wasn't voted on the 40 blacklist award, like people even in the industry said you was unlucky. People even said it just seems like people voting for their brethren. So when I saw that, I was like, cool, it's not for integrity, it's not for work rate, it's not for potential, it's for brethren. So forget all of that. Love for the super chat, Desmond. In regards to our centre midfielder shortage, love for the super chat again. Is Partey a killer defensive mid or a pressing CDM? I think he can play as a box-to-box or a 6, but he's primarily in there to win the ball back and chaperone and make sure that we're not exposed defensively. So you've seen Partey play as a more of a lone 6 at times at Arsenal. You've seen him be a bit more further forward, a ball-winning midfielder. You've also seen Xhaka play different roles. So things are always going to be tweaked, and several other players, really. Love for the super chat. Night, but it's doing you dirty. There you go. Brings it up. So, yeah, we can close that. Just random stats. Arsenal Premier League ranking for defensive line height, 2nd, and press intensity, 4th. So the underlying factors are there. We're doing all right, really. Hopefully we could do a thing there, really and truly, people. And these building blocks keep going. So, yeah, the metrics are good, but we need to keep going. Apparently, points in Premier League after 7 matches in recent seasons, we've got 18 points. That's better than the previous 4 years where from the earliest to now, 18-19, we got 15. 19-20, we had 12. We also had that a year later. We had 2 points less with 10 a year after that, people. So, yeah, we need to just keep going. Arsenal scored 7 goals in the opening 30 minutes of games this season. So we need to start fast and keep doing that. But also what scares me is second halves. 6 of the 7 goals we have conceded in the Premier League this season have come in the second half. Game management, it's improved, but it still needs to keep going. And there's been a couple of, we should have kept a clean sheet against Fulham because the game should have been put to bed. Should have kept a clean sheet against Villa. Should have kept one out. I'm being a bit harsh with them too. Definitely should have kept one against Leicester. So we need to keep going. We can't get it. There's a good foundation. We need to keep building on the positives and turn the good into great. We need to keep working on the negatives and aspiring for greatness. Only Spurs with 7 have scored more headed goals than Arsenal's 4 in the Premier League this season. That tells me set pieces and crosses in the North London derby might be a bit brazy and one to watch. Jesus made his Prem debut against Spurs. Apparently, he just has 1 goal in 9 appearances against them. Hopefully, that turns into 2 in 10. All of the 62 of Gabriel Jesus' Premier League goals have come from inside. Big up Harvey as well. One of the first industry folks start following, man, have come from inside the area. 58 for City and 4 out of 4 for Arsenal. It's the most goals a player scored in the competition among those with 100% rate from inside the box. Tim Cahill is next. And for me, I don't think we provide Gabriel Jesus with enough service. I think you look at half of his chances or goals or highlights, he's having to just do some bookie Samba skills and just make something happen. I need a bit more clear-cut opportunities for my strikers. And that's been something that I said when Eddie was playing up front, historically with Aubameyang and Lacazette, whether it was Emre or now Arteta. I think that's an underlying problem. I think we can create a bit more clear-cut chances, especially for the big man up front. Arsenal have kept 3 clean sheets from 4 Premier League away games this season. Hopefully that gets better. In relation to Mudruk, apparently nothing has changed about Shakhtar Donetsk's position on Mudruk. 30 million euro Everton bid turned down. No bid from Arsenal, in brackets, talks with his agent, strong interest, but no proposal made. Shakhtar remain on the same point. They want more than 50 million for Mudruk. So we'll have to see. Maybe that's too little. Maybe that's too much. I felt this might be an interesting article, people. Will Nuno Tavares follow Saliba's path to consolidate? Apparently, Tavares joined from Benfica last summer, went on to make 13 league starts, and obviously provided cover. Apparently, he did struggle. Apparently, WhoScore rating of 6.42 was the lowest of all Arsenal players in the Premier League last season, of those to start at least 5 games. The arrival of Zinchenko, meanwhile, meant playing time would have been further limited had he not departed. Apparently, the Portuguese fullback has benefited from a switch to Marseille, with Tavares far and away their best rated player in Liga this season, having scored a WhoScore rating of 4.79. That's the 8th best overall. And I mean, I hope you could have a future at Arsenal, but if we can turn that 8 million into 28 million in a sell-on clause, keep it moving, man. Yeah, man. That's the 8th best. Where was I? And obviously they play 5 at the back, so he's going to benefit from a wing back. Sao Paulo did use such setup on occasion last season, yet his favoured formation over the duration of the campaign was a 4-3-3, not too dissimilar from Arsenal. So that's just what we know already. With Tavares, though, Arsenal need to not be so hasty in cashing in on the 22-year-old, just as they were with Guendouzi. A bit different, Guendouzi had a bit of problems going on at Arsenal. Admittedly, the latter moved to Marseille on loan with an option to buy, blah, blah, blah. Arsenal have at least opted against including a buy option in the deal, which will be a boost for the Gunners. I mean, if his stock can improve, why not? And he's doing his thing there, really. Apparently, Tavares has completed more dribbles than any other player in Liga. And while a dribble success rate of 37.8 doesn't make for great reading, the on-loan defender's determination, I mean, we know you can get forward, but if you're dribbling to no effect, if you're crossing to no effect, yeah, you scored some goals, but if you're shooting over the bar, it doesn't mean anything. And for me, what I need to know about Tavares is how you improve defensively. Since we've been reading this article, have you seen anything about defending? Whether you're playing in the back three, obviously a guy that can't defend in the back three is going to do better, but if you don't improve defensively, it's a myth. What does stand out, Tavares does do with the ball when he gets into attacking positions. Apparently, instead goes for goal himself. He's had the 16 most shots in the league. He's had 18. Big up himself for that, really. Crucially, Tavares works hard off the ball and allows Marseille to quickly turn into attack. Blah, blah, blah. This is a pretty poor thingy. All right, fair enough. Now we're getting into some defensive things. Tavares is vital in that regard, having made the 11th most tackles this season in Liga so far. Fair enough. I'd like to see the positioning and things like that. And you have seen in a couple of games he's been robbed of the ball, but I don't think he's dropped any clangers defensively. I think he's been poor anytime I've seen you in Europe for them. But if you come back a better, solid defender, why not? I disagree with rather game management to defend the league or stick to how we play and score 4, 5, 6 goals. Can't have both. Easy to say in game management, but it doesn't come without a price. I agree with you. I don't think you're listening to what I'm saying. I'm saying clearly, if we concede the more goals in the second half, then we need to be a bit more switched on. As you know, the last 30 minutes of a game are the most vital, and you've seen Arsenal throw it away. Look at the United game. It's very easy to play intense with the first minute. It's very hard when you're tired, when you're out of position, when you're caught on the transition. You can't score 4 or 5 goals a game. We can be a bit more switched on defensively. Clearly, we score goals in the first half, we concede more in the second. Clearly, you can't be an idiot. In terms of getting better, you need to probably decrease that. I hear you, Dom. On the surface, Nuno looks like Mudruk. No, he doesn't. Mudrik's actually got a brain. Big up Austin Tusty. He's having a good time at Birmingham, people. What has the Birmingham gaffer said about him? It's an opportunity for Austin this year to come in and play championship football week in, week out. There are loads of things Austin needs to get better and develop at, but he's got so many positives as well. I can't lie, he's better than I thought, just from watching him. I'm not saying he could have a future here, but yeah. And he's going to have he's going to have a really big future going ahead, as long as he keeps developing and has the right attitude. I think he's very athletic. He's got everything to play in the Premier League. So why not for Arsenal? We have given him the opportunity to develop and play. He's been in the MLS, which is a different level to this. This is part of his development to come here and play the way he is playing. It's full credit to himself. He'll be the first to say he needs to improve on areas. Austin has a really good chance. Again, if you can make it at Arsenal, why not? If you can make bread for us, even better. Apparently, Arsenal's plan is to send Marquinhos out on loan in January. Again, we kind of knew this already, but yeah, people, we could be sending him out on loan. The idea is that the first part of the season, he's been part of things. He understands the vision that's in place. He then goes away to implement everything that he's learned from this season and makes it impact somewhere else, preferably in a team that plays a similar style to Arsenal. And then they would look for him to return and make his mark. I don't think he's going anywhere long term. He's highly thought of. They just want to make sure they manage the situation carefully. That's cool, man. Big up you. Hopefully you could do a thing here, people. Shout out this. Big up Saka and Ramsdale. I think they've joined the 100th club, people. They've made 100 Premier League appearances, and they're both babies. Ramsdale's a baby for a keeper. Saka, as great as he's, a baby for a winger, and it's quite testament, people. Apparently, the attacker becomes the second youngest player to play 100 times for us in the Premier League, behind only Cesc Fabregas. And in his first 100 games, he scored 17 goals while assisting 15 more. Big up Aaron Ramsdale, people. He completed his century back in April away at Crystal Palace, with his game spread across spells at 3 clubs, as you know. 12 of his 22 clean sheets have come in his first 100 games. Would come for us last season, a campaign that saw him handed his England cap. Shout to him. Shout all the guys that have been called up for England youth at various levels. You know, Patino played yesterday. Brooke Norton Coffey apparently he's had to withdraw with a knock, but he's done his thing. Couple young demons. Koza Dewberry probably wasn't on the bench against Brentford because he went off with England. Lino Sosa, who technically, you know, Koza was there, but why did Lino join later? But yeah, it is what it is. Them man are there. Ethan and Miles Lewis Skelly are obviously with the other under 17. So yeah, man, shout out the demons. Big up James Sweet. He plays a bit like a poor man's Charlie Patton, and I think benefited a couple of second-year scholars benefited last year or the year before. I'm losing my mind now, of the Patinos and all these guys being away. And he scored a vital goal the other week as well. I like James Sweet. I don't think he made the grade here, but yeah. Henry Jeffcott, don't think he'll make the grade at left back. Got sent off on a silly thing, but yeah, shout out to the young bulls for doing their thing, man. You know, the future's bright. Again, 4:15 p.m. UK time. We're watching England's under 21s against Italy today, people. Hopefully Balogun's involved, people. So yeah, moving away from that. Don't know why I got up twice. Shout out Tierney. He played against Scotland, people. He got 86 minutes. And, you know, big up Graham. I trust him. He's a fellow Scot and he's here all the time. He said he played quite well. Hopefully there's no setbacks and things. Turner and Tomiyasu are to face off in a friendly. Hopefully no one gets in any issues there. Already said this with Saka and Ramsdale. Kind of already alluded to that. Boy, Usmanov, apparently police have raided villas tied to the former Arsenal shareholder amid money laundering probe. Feds did a sweep, boy. It's all along. Maybe we got rid of Donny at the right time, or he cut out at the right time. William's been talking, man. You know, he chats too much, really. You said how you wanted to play for Arsenal, stunk up the place. You wanted to go back to Brazil, stunk up the place. Fulham, you're probably going to stink up the place as well. But anyway, skipping to what he said with Arsenal, I think maybe he says he has great respect for the gun. He said, I think I'm maybe the only player who's done something like this. Any other player in my situation would have stayed until the end of the contract and kept picking up the money. Me too. But I'm not like this. Money is not the most important thing in the world. Nah, it's not, but generational wealth and that. I have to feel good to feel motivated to go training. I wasn't having that there, so I decided to leave. For most of the season, we was playing without fans. Didn't see Arsenal fans. Maybe I needed to feel the buzz of the crowd. Then it was something I missed. It was a difficult moment, not just for me, but everyone in the world. To play without fans at a new club is not easy, but hey, fans might have drew you out still. On the last day there, I spoke with Mikel Arteta. I thanked him a lot for what he's done for me, for bringing me to Arsenal. I just wished him all the best. He's a good manager and I have great respect for Arsenal. They're doing well. They have good players. They can achieve good things this season. Well in William for that, but you know me, he's still. Anywho, away from any of that, we already know about this, people. So yeah, I think that brings that puts an end to any sort of talking points or things like that. Really, we can have a browse, but there probably is little to nothing about, really and truly. We saw them Balogun comments yesterday. I'm not going to read the same thing. So yeah, man, where that's concerned, people, that's that. Where's my timestamps? What's the time on the clock? Shout out to you lot, people. 1, 2, 4, 15. There we have it. Mudruk or Neto. I know more about Neto, so I'm going to say Neto. I can't tell you Mudruk's weaknesses, but I'll have either, man. I do like Mudruk's adaptability, man. Man have a passionate voice. Appreciate that, my dude. Tavares Bell region. I hope so. Hey, to be fair, he's doing better in the game. That he's doing better on loan than your brother. Who's that? Adoy Hudson Adoy. I don't know the man there, man. Pre-assist hype. These stats don't fool me. Tavares still looks mid, especially in the Champions League. Love for the super chat. Could Tavares be moved to left wing and cover for Martinelli? I mean, he was a winger by trade. He's clearly been converted probably at 16, 17 into a fullback, so you can't rule that out. And if he could put up numbers, great. But I mean, if Tavares is going to be counted as a winger at Arsenal, he's a bit one-dimensional. You'd have to judge him a lot differently, really. And I don't really quite think that's that. Big up, Gerard. Big DG, blessed for the content. Always bored at work, but your stream saved me big time. You lot saved me by taking it in. DG, bro, Conte might go Juventus. I hope so. But I don't know, man. Everyday Hudson, is he your postcode enemy? Nah, you're my enemy. You're top blue. You're a Chelsea fan. You dared to speak on Tavares. So I had to remind you, man, I'm easy, bro. Like, fam. How many goals Hudson got? Has he scored this season? Saliba has. Has he scored from outside the area with his weaker peg? Saliba has. 1v1 demon pre-assist though. Wicked. It's all entertainment. Shout out top blue, man. What's with Arsenal being so close to superstars is so frustrating. I don't know, man. I wish I knew, man. I wish I knew, man, but I don't. Unfortunately, people. Don't forget, 4:15 p.m. UK time, we're watching England versus Italy's under 21s. That's on Twitch because we ain't done a Twitch exclusive one in a while. We can actually watch YouTube vids at halftime or before the game in absolute peace, man. One love for you. 159 likes. Very appreciative, people. Blessings, Pack. Hope you're doing well, man. Shout out DG Nation once again. Brother, I don't know what you're saying. I hope you're not saying nothing rude. Big up yourself if you're not saying anything mad. But yeah, man. If you are, then yeah, you're just not a nice guy, in it, really and truly. Let's see what's come out in the last hour relating to Arsenal Online. We've seen that. We know about our injuries. Winterburn's hoping Aubameyang flops at Chelsea. Fair enough, man. I hope Aubameyang does well, really. But if you want to be a true legend, stink up the place, man. We already know about Ivan Toney. You know, just you're gonna have to just hold that one, my broski. You know, you started it. We didn't know who you was, bro. Like I knew he was because I followed you at Peterborough, but you started sending for us, and you know, Arsenal fans, we're never gonna forget. I want to beat Brighton because I remember vividly Brighton's Twitter handle just chatting. Boy, apparently Kieran Tierney comes out fighting with message to boss Mikel Arteta. Hopefully this isn't a sensationalized headline and he's actually said something, people. Well, not I said the damn word, really. It's just someone's thinking piece. I hate when that happens, man. I thought Tierney actually spoke. I don't know about that, man. Mudruk has mad pace. That's good, man. Where's Reece Nelson? He's technically in Arsenal's first team. Where I don't know for Hudson though. I don't know. Has Hudson Odoi scored against the top 16 in the league? Because Nelson did that. Nelson did that against Liverpool at home. If he has, I think he has. But yeah, man. I can't lie. Certain man can't play for Arsenal no more after how the man have been playing ball, especially Tavares. You can never rule out anything. Listen, if Tavares could come back a better defender, better 1v1, starting to think, less positioning, less relying on recovery pace, then you have a chance. I don't care how many goals you score. Like, I'm not impressed by that purely because that's a strength. The man signed for Arsenal Football Club and said, I like to shoot with my right foot. I'm seeing you score with your right foot for Marseille. It's just like with Mudruk. Stop telling me I don't know Mudruk from no one like that. You know, we all do what we can. We've seen him. There's no point telling me he's got skills, he's got pace, link-up play. I hear all of that. What's the man's weaknesses? If you don't know his weaknesses, you don't know the player. You know, Nuno Tavares joins Arsenal. No. Arsenal interview. Where is that on Arsenal.com, man? And to be fair, I don't know. For Tavares said he wanted the buy option. I'm not even going to find that now. Tavares saying he wanted a buy option and he never got that. I don't know if that will hurt him, man. I'll never forget Tavares versus Liverpool. I couldn't even get more of it. Liverpool away, United away, Crystal Palace away. There's enough games, bro. West Ham, even games where he's done well. Chelsea away, Man United at home. He's still kind of been a bit bandulu. Like, he scored against United. He gave away a penalty. He's thinking up plays. You know, Chelsea, it could have went either way. It's not just him, but yeah, man. You're going on Rant Stream. Big up Rants and Matisse. What time is that? Pardon me. And it meant to be 1:30. I'll be there when this thing's done. I'm going to have some lunch first, though. I can't kill myself. Do you think Nelson has any future in Arsenal or Prem football? It looks like his career is going to. Well, I think he can have a career, but you probably need to leave Arsenal to play games, get your confidence, get away from the hype, and do your thing. Tavares and Cedric had us suffering. Again, defensively, they're frail, respectfully to them, because it's not just them. There were games they did well, but they kill us defensively, and they also kill us going forward. Tavares is a free spirit. Cedric tries to go forward, but it's not what Tomiyasu was doing in his own little way. They kill us going forward. That's why I'm here for Zinchenko and Ben White if we're using them, because they obviously can defend. Not as good as Tomiyasu and Tini, but they don't kill us going forward. They are, sounds dumb, but if you're harming your chances of getting forward, getting to the opponent's box, but how are you going to score goals? If you don't score, you're not going to win. I think he can make it as an 8 or a 10, but I've seen him play 8, 10, out wide, up front. He's 15 in it. Let's see what happens. With his defending cap on, Tavares can become a solid player for the squad. Exactly. But if you're not, I'm just asking for some serious progress. Cedric just banging in crosses blind like he's in the mid-table, like he's in mid-table. This is Arsenal, fam. And Tavares does that. I watched the Marseille games. He does quite well, but there's no point. And I would say in an attacking sense, I think his crossing needs to improve. There's no point putting in good crosses or getting in the final third if you're not picking out men. For extra content, follow me on Twitch. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Come on. It's the time. Hey, if you're watching my live, come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Let me not talk too tough. The surveillance is on. But yeah, man. They had us suffering, man. They had us suffering. Big up you lot, man. What else have we got? Let me make sure. Let me spin the block. You lot, some of these nice messages, man. Shout out Gerald. Better yet. You lot are the guys, man, and girls if you're out there. What have you said? I'd like to see us bring in Milinkovic-Savic. So would I, but that's a dream chase, man. You know, it looks like Lazio won 80 to 100 million. It's a myth. Before summer transfers, what youngster could be looked at to step up in the first team? I don't know, really. I think I think the Patinos, the Azizes, all them Balligans, they need to get some experience now. And as much as it's a youngster thing, it needs to be a top 4 thing. So I think kind of need to let people develop elsewhere. People that need a bit of time. We have to hold people's hands, but we haven't got time to hold people's hands. This is why prior to the injury, I'm all for Lokonga playing short-term pain for long-term gain. But if El Nene out of 10 games is going to give me respectfully to El Nene 5s or 6s, if Lokonga is going to be 10 out of 10 1 week, the next week 20 out of 10, the next 3 games 4 out of 10, I'm probably going to bet towards El Nene. We need consistency. And young players, that's what they're trying to get. As a rival, I kind of like Tavares' Madman settings. I do like it, but Madman still have to calculate things sometimes. Shout the Ugandans. You have to, bro. You have to. Like, you have to be calculated. You can't always... When the games are like United and Chelsea, where, you know, that's what football is about. You know, he played well, but it's open, it's volatile. No one could have seen it. That's Tavares. When there's chaos, he's a madman. He's going to thrive. When it's time to be calculated and switched on, and for me, a bit like at this moment with the Lokonga, it's unfair. If I can't trust you away from home, I don't really want to see you play. I can't trust Tavares away from home. He's had several chances. Anfield, Man United, Palace. So go back. When you come back from Marseille, show us that you've improved. Sandro Tonali should be on your poll. He signed a new deal, my guy. Pause as well. He signed a new deal. Dream chasing. We'd all like Tonali, but the dream is free. The hustle is sold separately. 16 more likes and we have 200. Thank you in advance if you're going to do up that one, man. Make sure you've turned your notifications on as well, people. Luiz or Danilo? Both, man. I think Danilo looks like, again, if we've done our scouting and he's got scope to be better, bring him in. But I think Luiz, Premier League proven, doesn't do things amazing, but could be a good option. Shout out Badir. Where you been? You ain't been here in a minute, bro. You ain't been here in a hot set. Where you gone, man? Come on, man. So, yeah, man. Shout out, let's activate. Man's been subscribed for 11 months. Shout out the Canadians. I don't know why you lot drink bagged milk, but it's cool. Danilo. But again, volatility, really. I kind of, we've got youngsters. I'll always be open for youngsters joining this club, whether they're young or old. I kind of want some players that, I don't want to use the word rely, but I can rely on you, really, sort of thing. If I'm completely honest. My man said, hey, bro. You're on the Danny thing. I hear it. No, I'm chatting. What's Sky Sports saying? Come on, man. There must be something with Arsenal. Lie to me. Go.com. Lie to me. Go.com, please, man. Mudruk's having an Arsenal medical or something. Lie to me, bro. Lie to me. Please, man. I need a reason to smile still. But yeah, Saliba, Kante, Pogba, and France's most intense World Cup starting lineup battles. Watch. I'm scrolling to this Saliba thing, really. Where's the Saliba stuff? I don't care about these lot. Lucas Hernandez and Kimpembe versus William Saliba. If Deschamps starts playing Condé at right back or in the back three, it would open up more starting centre back spot. Saliba's quick, let's just say, adaptation to the Premier League at Arsenal makes him a surprise candidate, but Deschamps is far more familiar with Lucas Hernandez and PSG's Kimpembe, who's Banduli. So we hope we can do a thing. I don't know who that is, Fufana. Oh, that's the that Martinelli keeps, destroying, and we got to play you 2 times. Wait on it. Upamecano had a good game against United, so he probably deserves it. Just you being in the squad would be lit. Respectfully to France, no one care about none of this else because no other Arsenal French players are involved still. Got to put those Gnabry links to bed, bro. Man, ain't no Gnabry links to Arsenal, man. But bring them right now, though. Bring them. I knew that wasn't going to happen, but the dream is free. Signed a new deal as well. Gnabry, come home, man. Anyone can play for Bayern Munich, blood. Show that you can do it with Cedric behind you and that. I'm beginning to wonder if Sambi would be better served going out on loan in the Prem where he can grow more accustomed to the pace and gain confidence he needs. I in an ideal world, if we brought in 3 midfielders or 2, I would have said, you know what? I would want to keep you, but if you can go play 20, 30 games, you're turning 23 next month, you need to go and play. They need, because again, you came into this thing, Anderlecht, captain in Anderlecht, you had 76 appearances. You had a good foundation to build upon. There's been a bit of a culture shock. And I do think he would benefit from starting week in, week out. You're not going to get that Arsenal right now until you earn it. You shouldn't get that right now. I'm not dropping you for Xhaka. If Partey's fit, he is playing. Arguably, I'd more explore kind of tweaking things with Fabio Vieira, Zinchenko, Smith Rowe, definitely Martin Odegaard in that middle of the park. And if we did get Douglas Luiz, bro, it could have been peak for Lokonga slightly. I know El Nene's got injured, but it could have been peak. El Nene's he's comfortable here. He's not going to develop much. Let El Nene hang around like a spare part. Lokonga go and get games. That's why I said earlier, if you could get him 20, 30 plus league appearances or whatever in all comps, you're going to come back a better player. I need to see significant progress from Lokonga. I'm not asking you to be a world beater, but for me, I'm just hoping to have a bit of trust in you fully, especially away from home, because I can't. There's a few. Tavares isn't there now. Cedric is there. Lokonga, there's a few players I can't trust away from home. I know you can do this thing at the Emirates when the sun's shining, but only a couple men are on this when it's dark, it's windy, the away fans have had a lot to drink and they're moving mad. Yeah, man. A reliable Partey like backup should be a priority. It's hard to find those type of players, though. I mean, if we could just find a consistent 6 that does his job, I think that's good enough. If I'm honest with you, we can maneuver with that. But easier said than done, as you so expertly put. Fully, man. Amazing talking points from all of you lot, man. Big up you lot as well, because it's been I want to say tough international period, but we've had to do a thing. Do you see Marcelo Flores coming back next season and getting an opportunity with the first team? Anything can happen, but right now, no, because you're not even in the starting lineup. I don't think you're ready right now. And players are never ready. There's never an ideal time. There was never an ideal time to play Smith Rowe, Saka, Martinelli, any player that's bust through. Marcus Rashford at United, anything. You never come through at an ideal time. Probably Phil Foden at City because they've got that luxury. But yeah, man, I don't work for Arsenal. I don't know, but I don't think he's ready. Obviously, this is his first loan, so it might not be that. You know, Miguel Aziz, I'm expecting you to do better in Spain now off the back of your first loan at Portsmouth. Similar to Balogun, Middlesbrough, you learned a lot, didn't set the world alight. You're doing all right at Reims. I'll be there, man. But, you know, I've got to be here, bro. I'll be there. I'm going to be here, go eat my lunch, and then I'll be there with Rants and that. You know, I'll be there, man. You know, I got to look after home first. Gabby filling up for Foreigners Nightmare content, 100%. Salute, salam alaikum, Arsenal. Come on. So yeah, I don't know, man. I really don't know, man. I'd like to hope so, but no clue. Shout out to you lot tuned in. But yeah, man, we've been here for an hour and 40 minutes, people. When the sun is shining, exactly. See, we've been here for an hour and 40 odd minutes, people. I don't want to bore you lot anymore. I'm gonna go eat my lunch and then join Ranks and Matisse on Twitch. Chicken and rice settings, leftover dinner settings, man. Flores is not ready. He looks lightweight playing against grown men. That as well. And you're in the, you know, he's 18, 19, bro. Like, man, are not gonna be ready to play Premier League football on the best of days. Not everybody. And on top of that, Arsenal trying to get top 4. Like, there's mad contexts towards this. This is why Brooke, all these brothers, go out on loan, do your thing. Hopefully things fall into place. But on that note, people, I'm going to love and leave you lot. I'm back at 4:15. That will only be on Twitch. I can't lie, people. I've cut up clips from my last stream. I need to do it for this one. And there's just so much content to come out in. I'm not going to release them all today, but I'm working on a backlog. So make sure you've got your notifications on. I like to cut up the clips for you lot and things, and it helps boost engagement. Tomorrow we'll be back at 11:30, definitely. Tomorrow's Friday, so football FM heads 4:30 we're live as well. Any other content, ad hoc content, make sure you got your notifications on. You're subscribing, you're following on Twitch and YouTube. Make sure you're following on Apple Music and Spotify and that, man. Last one, because this is a good one from Carl, man. In fact, there's a couple still. I don't like to leave you lot hanging, man. Good morning, DG. Which of our stars will shine the brightest in Qatar? Partey, Saka, Ramsdale, Jesus, or Saliba? Well, hopefully Jesus does this thing, Brazil and that. So him, Saliba's French. You know, the French got to be favourites. You hope Saka and Ramsdale could do a thing, but probably them, man. Love, DG. Enjoy your meal. Thanks for the content. No, thank you lot for taking in this thing. Last one for real now. Big up, DG. I know Xhaka is balling at the moment. I am looking forward to Zinchenko in the 8s, but I'm looking to see a lot of these. We need adaptability, you know. One solution doesn't fix all, really, as you've seen with Arsenal. We need different things, but yeah, man, if I never bust out now, I'm never going to go, people. So love for having me. Appreciate you lot. See you lot soon, man. You lot stay blessed, stay safe, stay in good health. I hope this week, in relation to your goals, hopes, dreams, and ambitions, you move further, closer to it. Journey to 50,000 and 10,000 on Twitch and YouTube, respectively, is still alive and kicking. Hey, make sure you're following on TikTok. You won't find funny dances, but still, on that note, for real, safe, people.
There's always just that active red flag defenders. I think it's like. There's always just that active red flag defenders. I think it's like.